Thank you. Alrighty, good afternoon. We're reconvening from our morning session for a couple of land use items. They are variances, so we'll be hearing them as the Board of Adjustments versus the Board of County Commissioners, but same three people. So as the Board of Adjustments, Amanda, could you call the roll, please? Here.
Commissioner Thayer.
Here.
Commissioner Schroeder.
Here.
All righty. So as I said, we've got two variances to hear today. The process will be generally the same for each. Staff will present. We'll ask the applicant if they have any additional information they'd like to present. We'll open for public comment, allow responses to public comment, if any, and then we'll make a decision. And then throughout the process, we may have questions of the applicant or staff, but it's pretty straightforward. So with that, I would ask for a motion to open variance case number VA 23-188-838.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we open the Board of Adjustments meeting to hear Kelly variance VA-23-18838.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open this variance hearing. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, motion carries. We're in public hearing. Danny, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Board of Adjustment. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Danny Klebanner. I'm a land use planner here for Elbert County. Today I will be presenting the Kelly variance case, and that is case number VA-23-18838. So the details for this, it is a major variance. The action item is to approve a variance to the front setback in a residential agriculture 1 zone to allow construction of an addition to an existing legal non-conforming structure. The location for this is 4142 Beth Court in Elizabeth, Colorado, 80107. The applicant and owner are Michael Kelly and Joan Kelly. So the process for this started June 1st with a pre-application meeting. Community meeting was not necessary for this application. The application was formally submitted June 12th. It went out for referral July 12th to August 2nd, and then there were a couple agencies that weren't added, so they were added August 7th to August 21st, and here we are today, September 13th. All noticing was completed in accordance with the Elbert County zoning and subdivision regulation rules for noticing. With the news posting, the radius posting August 31st, on-site sign posting the 29th. Here's just a quick look at what the variance will allow the applicants to do. As you can see there on the right, top image on the right, the existing home and the addition they're hoping to be able to build. And then there's a rear view that shows the addition as well. Here's a quick look at a sketch of their current house and the addition. So you can see, it's a little bit hard to read, but 95 feet to the road from the existing house and 75 feet from the property line there. And then it goes 85 feet to the road and 65 feet to the property line. This addition will not worsen the condition of the existing nonconformity. The house was built before these setback rules were in place, so this variance will allow this addition. Here's a look at the location, that little green dot. They're just outside of Elizabeth off of Beth Court. Here's an aerial view of their home and just a rough sketch of the distance to the property line there. That shows 62, but the actual measurement is 65 feet is the approximate distance from the existing structure to the property line, and the addition will be the same distance. Here's another aerial look. As you can see, other houses in the neighborhood were built less than 100 feet from the property lines. Here's a zoning map from Bonnie Ridge subdivision. And then to the east is the Forest Park subdivision. So the applicant has acknowledged and or resolved all comments raised during the referral process. Very few comments or objections. Core had no comment, and then several with no response. I think based on the nature of this variance, not many concerns were present. So the variance criteria come from Article 3J7 of the Elbert County zoning regulations, and they list 5 criteria for all major variance requests. The Board of Adjustment is to consider these 5 criteria in their review of the application. So the first is by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific piece of property, topographic conditions, or other extraordinary and exceptional situations or conditions of the piece of property, the strict application of the regulation would result in a peculiar and undue practical difficulty or a peculiar and unnecessary hardship on the owner of the property. So the Kelly's property's topography and the current layout of the house make the east side of the house the only suitable location for this addition. Having an addition on the rear of the house or the west side would not be practical for what the Kellys are attempting to do with the variance. Criteria B, the extraordinary and exceptional situation or condition on the property that is stated as the reason for the proposed variance is not self-imposed. The basis for this variance request is the result of the age of both the development and the existing residence. Regulations during the period of construction allowed for the building construction as cited. And if modifications are to be made to the structure, it must meet modern setback requirements. That's why we're here today. As those cannot be met, a variance is required to allow reasonable use of the existing improvements for the planned building addition. C, the proposed variance complies with the purpose and intent of the standard and generally observes the spirit of the zoning regulations. I definitely believe this to be true. The intent of the setbacks is to keep privacy and separation between uses. The proposed variance encroaches on the required 100-foot front yard setback, but considering that this variance is not worsening the condition and property owners in the area have similar distances, this does observe the spirit of the zoning regulations. So D, the proposed variance will not substantially impair the appropriate use or development of the adjacent property. The adjacent lots are already developed, and this variance should not impair the ability of any development. And E, the proposed variance is the minimum variance that will afford relief with the least modification. This proposal is a minimum relief to be able to construct an addition to the existing residence and does not worsen the non-conforming condition that the house is currently in. So Elbert County Planning Department found that a recommendation here to the Elbert County Board of Adjustment to approve the major variance to the 100-foot setback, front setback, to allow the construction of an addition to an existing residence, and it's subject to the following conditions. That the applicant will remove the public hearing sign within 7 days. The variance shall not be effective until all fees are paid, and the resolution is recorded, and recordation of all appropriate documentation is to occur within 180 days of approval. So thank you for your time on this case. This was the Kelly variance VA-23-18838. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Do we have any questions for staff? No. Nor do I. It's pretty straightforward. Just, we've changed the setback after construction, so. Yeah, is the applicant present? Yes. If you could, sir, I do have one question. And yes, please come forward. If you could just give your your name and address for the record.
I'm Mike Kelly. I live at 4142 Beth Court.
All righty. Did you have anything you wanted to add to the presentation? Seemed very straightforward.
Pretty straightforward,
Okay,
yeah.
so the only question I have is, there were a few conditions that were listed. Do you accept those conditions? If you could go back to them, they were just...
Yeah. No, yeah.
Okay. We can't impose those without your acquiescence. So with that, I would ask for actually, I have to ask for public comment at this time. So
Okay.
Is there any public comment on this item? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, please, just so we capture it for the record. Yeah.
My name is Patricia Fritz. I live across the street from the Kellys at 4145 Beth Court. They're great neighbors. They keep their property in great shape. They help the neighbors in the area. We're totally in favor of their building this, and I think our home would probably see it the most. And my husband's also signed this, that we're totally in favor of it. No objections.
Thank you very much.
You're
for
welcome.
that.
Do you need this?
Yeah, I'll take that. So we'll make it part of the record. So thank you so much, ma'am. Alrighty. Do we have any other public comment? Ma'am?
Hi, I'm Janice Orr, and I live over on Annie Circle. And so I'm just right down the street from the Kellys, and we also have no objection. It's not going to make any difference, I don't believe, at all in the neighborhood.
Thank you so much. Any others? All righty, seeing no others, we'll close public comment at this time. Actually, the design looks very attractive. That looks like it'll be a nice addition. So I guess with that, I would ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the Kelly variance with the conditions of approval. The Kelly variance is VA-23-18838.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. I'll accept a motion to close public hearing on this item.
Mr. Chairman, I move we close the hearing for the Kelly variance VA-23-18838.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to close public hearing on this item. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We're out of public hearing. Thank you very much, and thank you to staff. It was a very thorough packet, and hopefully there's enough building season left to get going on this. The window's closing, but thank you. All righty. The next item we have is the Peters variance, P20230002. I'd accept a motion to open public hearing. And then
Before I make a motion, I just want full disclosure. I know the Peters family outside of this setting, and I believe I can make an impartial decision on this object. And if Mr. Peters is acceptable, I'll remain as part of the board.
That's very acceptable to me. Thank you. Appreciate that. So with that, if we could get a motion to open the hearing.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to open a public hearing on Peters variance P2023-00002.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to open public hearing on the Peters variance. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We're in public hearing, so generally the same sequence to be followed. And give staff a moment. Morning, or afternoon.
Good afternoon, commissioners, staff, fellow citizens. I'm Mark Dedenrader, Director of Community and Economic Development for Elbert County Government. Here today to present to you the Peters variance, case number P-2023-00002. This is a major variance request to the front setback on a property located at 4344 Antelope Trail in the community of Elbert. Kyle and Thea Peters are the applicants. This slide here shows you the process, starting with a pre-application meeting, going through formal application submittal, referral process, and then, of course, the hearing date set for today. Public hearing notices, those were all complied with. There was a notice in the Ranchland News on August 28, 2023, and then there was a mailer sent out with that 1,320-foot radius on August 16, 2023, and in addition to that, on-site sign postings on August 16, 2023 as well. This case requires a little bit of background to just get us to present day. So in 2021, there was an approved variance through the county that allowed for a 40-foot front and a 20-foot side setback instead of the standard 100-foot front and the 25-foot side setbacks that are required in the RA1 zone district. There was an existing garage. They removed it and then constructed an ADU, accessory dwelling unit, and then that was the driver for needing to build a new garage. This new garage was then constructed in 2022, and it was discovered after construction through a survey that the structure was not built in compliance with the 2021 variance. It was actually built 17.1 feet, to be exact, from the front of the property instead of the 40 feet that was approved. Also, there was a utility easement encroachment of just shy of 3 feet. So basically, the builder put the structure up about 6 feet closer to the road than was expected, and they didn't follow what was marked on the ground. That was according to the property owner. And then the owner also indicated that they were not clear on where to measure from. It's noteworthy that the side setback is not an issue from what was granted in that 2021 variance. So today, a new variance is being requested. Another issue, as just mentioned, was this encroachment in the utility easement. Initially, a vacation was pursued, but the utility companies agreed to an encroachment, but not to a vacation. In your packet today, you probably saw the encroachment agreement letters from Mountain View Electric and CenturyLink, also known as Lumen. This is an arrangement between the utility companies and the property owner, and the owner is liable for any damages to the utility infrastructure, et cetera, and the utility companies, they will maintain their rights to this easement. So we are here before you today considering a variance with this application. The location of this property is just southwest of Elbert. And I've got some more location maps here for you. You can see on the far right-hand side that road, that would be Elbert Road, and then the other road that comes across the screen, that is West Kiowa Creek Road. This subject property is located in the Academy East neighborhood, filing number 4. Here is a zoomed-in view of the property. This is a residential 8-acre lot. It's zoned RA1 again. The primary residence is located on that northern portion of the lot, close to the road. That's Antelope Trail. You can see that this 8-acre parcel is long and narrow. It's got this L shape, and it starts up at Antelope Trail and then travels south and to the west. Majority of the site is fairly heavily treed. The zoning map here does indicate that that this is in an RA1 zone, as previously mentioned. The adjacent properties you can see are also in that same zone to the north, west and east, and to the south there's a property which is zoned agricultural, and that's a 35-acre parcel. This is a survey image. Provides some more structure detail. You can see there's a clustering of the structures up on that north end, and on that top far left corner you can see that that is where the new garage was built, and there is a 20-foot utility easement between the property and Antelope Trail. Here's some pictures that were provided by the applicant. The first one on the top left, obviously that's the new garage, and it shows that setback from the road, and that road you see there on the right-hand side, that is Antelope Trail. A couple other pictures of the garage as well for you to review. These were also provided in your packet. The referral responses went out, and the referral agencies that forwarded to us that they had no objections to this variance. This just depicts the no objections, the utility easement encroachment. There's no objection to that from both MVEA, Mountain View Electric Association, and CenturyLink. This here indicates the non-referral responses from these agencies. So, based on Article 3J7, this is our variance review criteria, and Danny did a great job of presenting this in the previous case, but we will certainly go through it again as it pertains to this one. Article 3J7 of the Elbert County Zoning Regulation lists review criteria, that's A through E, for all major variances. And the Board of Adjustment is here to consider these criteria. And the 5 criteria, we'll go through those now. The first one, A, is by reason of exceptional narrowness, shallowness, or shape of a specific piece of property, topographic conditions, or other extraordinary and exceptional situation or condition of the piece of property, the strict application of the regulation will result in peculiar and undue practical difficulties for or peculiar and unnecessary hardship on the owner of the property. The buildable area on this property is primarily going to be found in that northern section of the property. Due to its shape, there's just that small section in that northern area that you can find buildable space near the road. Behind the home, the land actually drops off significantly, so you lose some elevation. There's also, in addition to trees, there are rock outcroppings that are scattered throughout there. So it is impractical to have placed a garage in that location on the property. And if you really, do the analysis on this, moving the structure or rebuilding would create a financial burden on the applicant. B, continuing on with the review criteria here, the extraordinary and exceptional situation or condition on the property that is stated as the reason for the proposed variance is not self-imposed. The property owner does acknowledge that some mistakes were made with the construction of the garage. Those were, again, unclear. They were unclear on the measurements in terms of marking the garage site properly, and then the builder did miss some key markings in the field, according to the applicant. C, the proposed variance complies with the purpose and intent of the standard to be varied and generally observes the spirit of the zoning regulations. Staff believes the intent of the setbacks is to keep privacy and separation between uses and structures, and the setback in question relates, again, to the front of the property that borders a road, and a utility easement separates the road and the said property. D, the proposed variance will not substantially impair the appropriate use or development of adjacent property. The adjacent lots, they are already developed, and this variance will not impair the ability of any of the adjacent properties to develop or adversely impact the adjacent lots in general. E, the proposed variance is the minimum variance that will afford relief with the least modification possible of the zoning regulations. We believe this proposal is a minimum relief to be able to appropriately comply with current zoning regulations. To reiterate, relocating or rebuilding the existing structure, it does not seem to be reasonable from a financial standpoint, and there is no perceived negative impact to the adjacent property owners. The Planning Department for Community and Economic Development recommends that you, the Board of Adjustment, approve the Peters variance to allow for the front setback adjustment so that the applicant is in compliance with the Elbert County zoning regulations. The proposal is in general alignment with the Elbert County Comprehensive Plan. The proposal meets the criteria for commonly associated variance requests. We also have found that the proposal is compatible with existing and allowable land uses in the surrounding area, and the proposal will not result in significant impact to the health, safety, and welfare of the residents and landowners of the surrounding area. Therefore, the planning staff recommends the Board of Adjustment approve this variance, Peters variance, and it's located again at 4344 Antelope Trail in Elbert, Colorado. There are conditions to this approval. There are three. The first is the applicant will be required to remove the public hearing sign within 7 days of a decision by the Board of Adjustment. 2, the variance shall not become effective until all fees are paid and the variance resolution is recorded. And finally, recordation of all appropriate documentation to occur within 180 days of Board of Adjustment approval. That concludes my presentation, and thank you kindly, Commissioners, for listening.
Thank you, Mark. Do we have any questions for staff at this time? No. I'd invite the applicant up. Do you have anything you'd like to add, sir?
No, I think you did a fine job of presenting our position on this.
And then I understand, I believe Grant and I heard the original variant.
I believe so, yes.
So, so you were doing this so you could keep family member
Yes,
housed?
we added on to our home so that my in-laws could move in with us, which required the demolition of my garage and the addition of a larger garage. Darn my luck on that.
No, I get that, and trying to keep family together is important.
Absolutely.
Did you have any issues with the conditions that were presented?
No, sir.
Okay. Any other questions for him? Seems very straight.
Commissioner, I had something that
yes.
may need to make sure I do put on the record. Just to ensure that this is clear, a granting of the variance in today's meeting certainly can occur. I think under the prosecutorial discretion aspect and some of the legislative and judicial authority that is held by the county. However, I want to make clear that a decision that's made today cannot invalidate other people or other organizations' rights. And while the letters regarding the encroachment that has occurred are good, it does not mean that there may not be other utilities or other parties that could not assert a right. And it doesn't mean that those those parties that have provided letters with respect to the encroachment will never have an issue. And so just to make it clear that the county cannot deal away someone else's property right, what we can do is say for the county purposes, variance is acceptable to the county in this case. It just does not mean that a third party cannot assert a right down the road, and that may still be an issue for the landowner.
No, thank you for that. And this is a garage on footers. There's no basement or...
I'm sorry, what was that?
There's no basement. It's a garage on footers.
Sadly, no.
No.
That would have been awesome to have a basement.
Okay. No.
No, it's built slab on grade.
Okay. Yeah. So I just.
And as far as any, I understand any encroachment into the utility easement and whatnot, if something comes along later, that we'll have to address that at that time.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. So I think that covers everything we needed to. So I would accept a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Peters variance P 2023-00002 with the conditions of approval listed.
Commissioners, I don't believe we had public comment.
Oh, you are correct. I had done a head count earlier and realized we probably didn't have any, but thank you. I will open for public comment. Seeing none, I will close public comment. Did you get your motion out?
Yeah, you want me to say it again?
Did you get a second?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion.
Again? Okay.
To approve the Peters variance P 2023-00002 with the conditions of approval.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second, and I think we've covered all the pieces we have to. So I would ask that all in favor vote aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. I would accept a motion to close public comment at this time, or excuse me, close the public hearing at this time.
Mr. Chair, I move we close public hearing on Peters variance P 2023-00002.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to close public hearing on this item. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. We're out of public hearing. Thank you very much, sir. And then there being no more business before us as Board of Adjustments, I would accept a motion to adjourn for the day, both as the Board of County Commissioners.
Mr. Chair, I move that we close the Board of Adjustments meeting.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to close the Board of Adjustments meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries. And now I'd accept a motion to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting.
Your turn.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that we adjourn from our county commissioner meeting today.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second to adjourn for the day. All in favor, please say aye.
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 We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Amanda, how